We know that the president wants someone with Wall Street pedigree, like he did during his first term when he had former Goldman Sachs banker Steven Mnuchin as his Treasury Secretary. And we also know that he wants someone who is sort of full-bore supportive of Trump's tariff plans.
So is it a problem in and of itself, Saleha, that Trump has not yet made a decision on the Treasury Secretary? Does that suggest that maybe there's some real difference of opinion?
I think generally when we have a change of power in the White House, we get a pick before Thanksgiving. So we're kind of on track. Even when Obama came in the midst of the global financial crisis, Tim Geithner at the time was announced mid to late November of that year. I think what we're seeing is that the long-term consequences here are, one, it really is showing how serious Trump is about tariffs as a key tool of his trade policy. And tariffs are one thing that have foreign allies, adversaries, investors, everyone kind of wondering how is that going to play out.
So in terms of timing, we're on the same wavelength. What do we think Elon Musk's role is in picking a Treasury Secretary?
The only thing that we've heard from him on Treasury was Saturday with his tweet. It was kind of a big deal. He tweeted out coming out in support of Howard Lutnick, who has now been tapped as Commerce Secretary. Lutnick was not a clear favorite among the Trump camp, and he came out in support of Lutnick by saying that while sanctions are going to be so important, that means you need a Treasury Secretary who is willing to blow things up, be a bit of a disruptor, and that's Howard Lutnick. Since then, we have not heard Musk talking or tweeting about it, and so I guess you can read into that what you want to.
Saleha, what's the thinking in D.C. about Senate confirmations of some of the more, I guess, questionable or contested candidates that President Trump has tapped? I'm thinking Matt Gaetz and some others. Is there a feeling kind of growing down there about how that will proceed?
Yeah, Paul, that's such a great question, because I keep thinking to myself that once Trump has chosen a Treasury Secretary, this person not only had to go through the last 10 days of rigmarole to get the job, possibly, but also the real vetting work starts when you go through the Senate confirmation process, which is your, all your financial disclosures are made public. People are combing through your information and your background, your family, and your history, and then you have a very public 2-hour-long grilling that anyone around the world can watch as you interview with the Senate Finance Committee for this job. And everyone's talking about Matt Gaetz, whether that's really going to be able to make it to the Senate. We haven't heard a lot from John Thune, who is the Republican senator who will be the Republican majority leader once that session in Congress starts. I think that's where the cues are going to come from. So far, he said that a president should get to choose his own cabinet officers, but he does want a thorough vetting process.